Alright, what's up gamers? It's news day. Jagex has blessed us once again with a brand new old school RuneScape news post, and this is a pretty exciting one. It's about the new Valormore content that they've been cooking up lately, working on for the game jam. I believe they've been doing some things during that, which is going on currently this week, and they updated us with a new little look at the Colosseum, which if you've been living under a rock, Valormore is the new promised content for Zaya, also known as Great Corund. If you're a new player, which I've never heard of it as Zaya, I know that's what it used to be referred to as. Either way, it's going to be down here, I believe, in this big dark chunk. Don't even get me started on dark chunks right now. And it's going to be like the new updated area for hunting and the Hunters Guild and this potential new Colosseum, which sounds like it's going to be pretty freaking sweet. I did a little bit of digging and I kind of looked ahead. I cheated, I know, but I wanted to get a good idea of what to talk about, some of the important things, and just to give you a good little refresh. And it seems pretty exciting. I'm pretty hype about it, so let's go ahead and jump right in. The Fortis Colosseum. The first look. So this was the kind of, I wish we had some, they have some dope concept art here, but I wish we had a little bit more to go off on, especially for some of the rewards later on. But anyway, get ready to vote for Valormore's most exciting blood sport, the Colosseum. It sounds pretty sick. I'm not going to go over some of the flavor text they give us here, especially because I would probably pronounce a lot of the names incorrectly. But basically, it's a big fight arena, another Colosseum for players to duke it out against monsters. This is not a PvP aspect of the game. This is PvM. So it's for the real ones out there, aka people who like to play the game for what it's meant to be played for. I'm just kidding, kind of. So here we go, the Fortis Colosseum. I'm going to skip right to the juicy stuff, the gameplay. If you want to read the flavor text, the lore, go ahead and jump onto the news post. I'll link it in the description for you. The Fortis Colosseum. It is old school's third wave based minigame. So think notes of Fight Caves and Inferno. Those are the previous two, of course. I've done one of those. I've done one of them quite a few times. I've got many a fire cape, but no Inferno, so I can't talk on that one. But like its predecessors, the Colosseum is a highly repeatable PvM encounter with high skill ceiling and a steep difficulty curve. Of course, it's got to be hard. Can't be easy. Can't be in the mid-level. It's got to be hard, and that's fine. That's fine. The later waves contain some of the toughest enemies Gielinor has to offer. They're always raising that ceiling, aren't they? One thing's always more difficult than the last. And that's not a bad thing. They always have to, I mean, they've got to have players wanting more. You got to have something to work towards. I get it. Although players who are new to combat can still try their hand at the earlier waves. So, thankfully, they're going to have a little bit of something for everyone. And that's what's good. That means I got content too, so it's going to be a good day. I didn't even have to use my AK. There's a big focus on reactionary combat. What? Now that's an interesting phrase there, reactionary combat. The kind where you see the enemies spawn in and quickly figure out how to manage them. Interesting. So you almost get to like plan out how things are going to go beforehand. You kind of get to see like a strategy game or a tactical game almost is what it sounds like to me. Unlike the Fight Caves and the Inferno, the Colosseum invites you to make big decisions between each wave. That makes me think of like a tower defense almost, where you're planning like the buildings and you're scheduling where things are going to go. You're spending like a certain amount of power to unlock things in between. Sounds very interesting so far. Then they get into modifiers. The modifier system ensures that not two Colosseum runs will be the same. So like a roguelike or a roguelite. What the hell is the difference? Roguelite and roguelite. I can't even differentiate the two words. But apparently, they're different. How? Don't know. So, the selection of modifiers you get to choose between is randomized every run, like a roguelite or roguelike. Am I saying the same thing? I don't freaking know. But beware, your choice will persist for the rest of your run. So, you make these choices of how your run's gonna go, and you're stuck with it. That makes sense, obviously. Although the best rewards are reserved for those rare champions who stick it out to the end. So, it's a risk-reward system. Jagex is very well known for doing this type of thing. You get better rewards, of course, more GP, more renown, more whatever it is, for the longer you are in the arena. The more that you're in the trenches, the more you're in the damn trenches, the more reward you'll be. I wonder if this is going to be considered a safe minigame or not. Because I know, like, Fight Caves, Inferno, those are both safe. If you die in them, you don't die for real in the game. So I'm curious as if this will be different or not, because it's a different area altogether. You know, they did the same thing with like Raids 1, for example. The Chambers of Xeric, that's a safe raid, but Theater of Blood and Tombs of Amascut are not. So I'm curious as to if this is going to be following that same vein of how they do like beginner content. The first time, safe death, but the second time, not such a safe death. Now, up next is where they start to talk about something that's new, or at least for this particular wave-based minigame. And that is something called Glory. So basically, this is the other thing you'll be earning throughout the Colosseum that's not rewards or gold, or, you know, whatever the reward potential is going to be for doing just these everyday waves. So this is kind of their overall reward system. You'll earn glory every time you complete a wave. How much you get depends on how much damage you took, how quickly you cleared the wave, and the number of errors you made. Now, what does that mean? Errors that you made. Does it mean like if you get like, okay, of course if you take damage, but what other errors can you make? Like, do you have like, is it going to be like a system where you have to protect like the citizens of the Colosseum, like an escort mission almost? So I was just kind of memeing it up earlier when I said renown, but glory is, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. As you gain more glory, you'll gain respect inside and outside of the Colosseum. So I believe this is going to allow you to do different things inside the city of Valormore, or perhaps just the Colosseum. I don't know how big this particular area is going to be, of course, because these are just the first looks and the concepts, but I'm imagining that it's going to allow you to unlock perhaps different areas similar to the Inferno place, the fight caves. What is that place called? With the Tox Quetzal, where you unlock like the second layer or the inner layer of the city. And then we get to the juiciest of the juicy, the rewards. They've got 3 big main rewards for us here. And this is where all of your glory and the different things that you're earning throughout each wave will be spent upon. So here's the first one. Now, they don't have any pictures for us. They don't have any like juicy concept art for us to peer our little eyeballs at. However, they've got some pretty interesting statistics. The first up being something called the Glaive of Ralos. Ralos. We're starting about a, not a big spear, they say, but like a one-handed chargeable thrown weapon in a brand new weapon category, which bounces back to you like a bouncing Betty grenade. Uncharged, so you have to charge it somehow, I'm assuming with the glory that we are earning in this Colosseum, and you'll throw it out, hit your enemies for between 0 to 50% of your maximum hit. So if you can hit a 20, you'll hit a 10, no matter what, that's it. You're not going to hit your max hit. And then the glaives return to your hand. Infinite ammo, but that's why you're only getting 50% of your max hit. That's uncharged. When it's charged, the glaive will come into its own, it says, and sharp edges will slice and dice for 2 hit splats. Now, that's all great and fine, but the next thing here is what I think is really interesting, and that is something called the Echo Crystal. You're thinking, oh, a thing for my offhand. Oh, it's going to change how some other piece of my armor works. It's going to perhaps reflect upon my teleports. No, you damn fool, no. This is about a boot slot. Did you guess that? Did you have that on your bingo card? This is a pair of boots? No, I bet you didn't. So, they say that these resonant rocks give off a nasty shockwave when struck, inflicting recoil damage on your attacker. Ooh, so it's like a retaliation. We're thinking that you'll be able to slot your crystals into an existing boot slot. And then here's something that gets really interesting. They talk about something called Sunfire Runes. What the hell is that, Jagex? Well, first of all, let's talk about what the big thing is. That's this armor set, which is effectively proselyte armor with bigger numbers. So finally, after years of trouble and toil, we are getting an upgraded version or a better version to wear than proselyte armor. Praise Mod Ash. Proselyte has been the go-to prayer bonus gear since 2006. And finally, the Colosseum is going to be where they add a new upgraded spot to that armor. And it's going to require 60 prayer and 40 defense. And they're going to each be boosting +2 prayer bonus over the proselyte. Equivalent plus similar defense bonuses to rune armor, of course. So we're going to finally have a new... I wish I could see what this looks like so bad, man. Oh, I wish I could. I can just try to imagine it in my little brain. And I'm imagining like a phoenix on the back, flames, perhaps a sun like the what's the dude from Dark Souls, the sun bro, what's his name? I can't think of it right now, which is embarrassing because I love that game. But I'm imagining him. And then they got into the Sunfire Dust. Now, this is basically what you'll receive in bulk all throughout any Colosseum run, similar to like the Phantom Muspa and his Ancient Essence. And you use this dust to charge basically any of the items you earn throughout the Colosseum, like the Glaive of Ralos, or what we're getting ready to learn about, the Sunfire Runes. You combine this dust to make basically a brand new type of rune, similar to the Wrath Runes. And assuming that you have the Runecraft level, you obtain Sunfire Runes by imbuing just regular fire runes with this dust at any, well, not any fire altar, there's only one fire altar. So they're going to be just a new type of rune that you can create. And it's going to have just, of course, better overall things compared to fire runes. Pretty sweet. Alright, so that's all well and good. Those all sound pretty sweet. A new little ranged weapon, a new set of sweet armor, and some new boot upgrades. But what's the overall end game? What's the overall arching goal for this new Colosseum? Well, that would be for the new best in slot ranged cape. Similarly, we had the Ava's Assembler. Well, now, step aside Ava. We've got Disani, and her quiver. So, would it really be a wave-based minigame without offering a new cape back slot? So apparently Ava's Assembler has been the top for 6 years. I didn't know it'd been that long, TBH. But now, of course, it's got to be truly glorious, they say. Make it through every wave, and you should have accumulated enough glory to take home this untradeable unique reward. I'm glad it's untradeable. Of course it is, because like the Fire Cape, the Mage's Cape, those are all untradeable, so it just makes sense. For your trouble, you'll get plus 10 ranged accuracy and plus 1 ranged strength. And it'll look much nicer than a rucksack full of magnets. So it looks cooler, they say. I'm taking their word on it. I'm taking their word. And it's a good bit stronger. But come on, we can't seriously expect you to start picking up your own arrows off the floor. RuneScape players are lazy. Bring your quiver and your favorite of Ava's devices, of course, to her workshop. And she'll apply the same ammo saving effect to your cape. We can't go back on that. If there's one thing that has to stay true, it's death, taxes, and Ava's Assembler has to pick up arrows off the ground. And of course they talk about power creep, which is a real pressing concern pertaining to magic in particular, which would make just Tumakin Shadow even more dominant if they continue to pursue more increases to mage. And then the last thing to talk about is just a few final quick rewards here, which of course they refer to the Fight Caves or the Inferno, where all your rewards are basically tied up in one overall thing at the very, very end, being the Fire Cape or the Infernal Cape. But the Colosseum is going to give you plenty of opportunities to earn many different things all throughout each wave, and have more potential to attract new players with, other tradable uniques, Sunfire Dust, and of course things that can just be simply converted to good old, cold, hard GP cash money. And they're really trying to aim to really push you towards this risk versus reward element. Making it like a roguelite is a bold move, Cot. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm interested to see how it goes. I'm not mad at it at all. I think it'll be fun. How well it stays. I mean, they're really trying hard to push this like randomized element onto everything they do nowadays with regards to like, Chambers of Xeric. That was kind of their big first attempt at that, and it seemed successful for the most part until here recently when they're really trying to go back on that. But, not even them, it's the players. But you know what I'm trying to get at. So I'll be interested to see how all of this plays out when, they decide to release more about Valimor, or when I believe the Colosseum is the first part that they're going to really chunk into the game. So I'm excited to see how it all plays out. Those rewards sound sick, dude. The new proselyte armor, I wish I could see how that... I'm about to say a bad freaking word, dude. I wish I could see how that stuff looks right now. But we'll have to just bide our time a little bit longer. I'm glad that Jagex gave us a quick little look into it. What do you think about all this new release stuff that we just learned about the Colosseum? I think it sounds fun, a new wave-based. If it's safe, I'm crossing my fingers, I'm crossing my pinkies, I'm crossing other parts of my body you don't want to know about to really hope that this is going to be a safe minigame because I don't want to lose my status on new content. I can't play it until everyone else figures it out, gets me all the nerd stats. That way I know exactly how to survive it. But until then, everyone, I'm going to have to get ready to go. I got to hit the gym. I just wanted to get this out because Jagex has blessed us with this new information leak, this new dump, if you could say, and I'm going to go do the same. Goodbye, everyone. Until next time, enjoy. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see everyone very soon. Bye.